beautiful person I met a few years ago, Cathy Valentine. And yeah, we've sort of connected and we've travelled through life and been there helping each other in various things. I really, really want to share Cathy's wisdom with you because I just recently got to experience an archetype session with her, and it made so much sense, ridiculously amount of sense to how, you know, I go through life and where I get stuck and things like that. And, you know, why when I get an idea and I want something, want to get it done, it's like full steam ahead, but then I get blocked because I haven't actually put things in place. So it made a lot of sense. But Cathy has really lived a life of following her heart, especially in the last few years. So Cathy, welcome to this little chat here. First of all, you know, you've had a pretty full life, and in the last, 5 or 6 years, you've really stepped into this role of coaching and living through your heart. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. I think I spent a lot of time doing what I thought was the right thing to do, which was being the best mother in the world, the best wife in the world, the best sort of businesswoman and support for everyone. So what I did was I was really good at facilitating everyone else's life, but completely forgot my own dreams. So then what happened, I mean, life came crashing down about 6 years ago, and I was left with just nothing, had no idea who I was, what I wanted to do, a completely blank canvas, and I rebuilt from there. And it was this archetype work, like as you said, that it just lit a fire. It was as though it went, this just makes so much sense, you know. And the scientist, the businesswoman, the everything in me just still went, yeah, it's ancient wisdom, and it's just so powerful and just makes so much sense. Like as you said, when it happened to you, it's just a revelation. You go, well, of course, this is who I am. You know? But it just and changed my life. So now, I'm passionate about sharing this information, because then I see what happens to people when the lights go on. And it's like you just have this blueprint that you can refer back to, and you go, oh, that's why I'm stuck. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm in flow.
Yeah. So I just want to go back to what you said, because I feel you and I both work with similar sorts of people, people who are at a crisis point like what you were, you know, 6 years ago, when the bottom fell out of your world and everything that you thought you were hit you in the face saying, well, that's not who you are. And so that journey to remember who you are, it's, you know, it takes a lot of work, and you really do need help and support. You really need people, guidance, or people who can keep you searching and keeping you, you know, wanting to connect more to yourself. So how did you start? What was your starting point when you were in crisis? How did you, in chaos, what steps did you take?
All right. Well, to start with, it was quite a circulatory route to get to where I am now, because to start with, I allowed myself to be led, because I just had nothing, and my son sort of went, well, come on, let's do, you know, this stuff with your money and do property development. And I went, okay, not my passion, but I do love developing property, but it's not my heart song. It doesn't, you know, more the creative side of that. And so I went and did that, and then that's where I met you, strangely enough, and heard you speak. And then I had to go and lie down because I had such a shocking headache. I don't know what you did that day, but the energy was profound. I was sitting right at the back of the room, and it was like, whoa, okay. But I think it was like an opening of it was just this thing. It was the start of this process, the start of understanding what I had locked away. And then I also heard someone else speak, who a lot of people would be familiar with in that group of people, and that was Pip Mackay. And she's done this huge spiritual journey with all these archetypes and understanding the ancients, and put it into a form that I just find absolutely profound. So then I went and learnt all I could about that. And
Mm.
then I also went and with other mentors who use other procedures, and I've just been gathering knowledge, and I've just been, once I had a sense, once I felt again what it was like to follow your heart, then I've just been following my heart and gathering information and understanding, and just doing work on myself. And then also that just allows me then to go out and help others to take the same journey. But it
Mm.
started, I guess it started when I thought I didn't have any other choice. I needed a lot of pain to move. Fortunately, some people don't need that much pain. I needed a lot of pain. I was quite stubborn. I just kept sticking in there. So yeah, that's sort of what happened for me.
Yeah. So that's a really interesting thing, you had to experience a lot of pain. And, you and I had this conversation a while ago, and, it was this, why do I have to wait? You asked me the question, why do I have to wait for my nervous system to totally explode
Yeah.
before I made a choice or made a decision around something? So, and this is a big thing that happens with people is we're not tuned in. We're taught not to, in our old world. This is what I see anyway. Our old world, we were so disconnected from who we were and our heart and our soul. And we were really living a life of survival and a life of being who the world wanted us to be, or who we were told we were allowed to be. And so a lot of people, yes, some people doesn't sit right, they ask questions, there's always troublemakers like me asking questions, and you start your journey a bit earlier. But there are people who, like who you said yourself, you're stuck in there. It's like, I've made my bed, I lie in it, I've got to make things work, I've got to do this, got to do that. So we create all this pain and suffering, and the pain and suffering gets to the point where we just can't, we have to do something different. You just can't keep pretending anymore. And so this is what, what you offer and what I offer is really important, because when people get to that point, they often don't know where to go.
Absolutely.
They're
I didn't. I
yeah.
didn't. Honestly, if someone had said to me, you can be whatever you want, there are no barriers, I would have just sat there with a blank look and said, I have no idea where to start. I have no idea
Yeah.
who I want. Can you hear my little puppy's crying because he can see a dog across the road?
I love dogs.
Yeah, so that's why we've got a little howling puppy in the picture.
So it's the starting point.
Yeah.
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 And
Just,
so,
I didn't even know where to take the first step. And that's where I remember my first day of learning this archetypal stuff. I just went in there and I discovered, because the philosophy behind this work is that there are only 8 archetypes. And in the work that I do, archetype means the best version of. So, for example, the innocent adventurer is like the ideal child. So anything like the orphan or the wounded child is like a shadow of that and needs to be healed, and maybe coach around that, anything that's in shadow. So with these 8 archetypes, the other thing that we say in this philosophy, that 4 of them are already, the qualities and attributes of 4 of those archetypes are deep within our soul, and they're what give us passion and purpose. And I think that's what we went through with you when we discovered your 4 archetypes. And it's like, yes,
I'm a
what?
knight.
Yeah, I'm a knight and an oracle.
Yeah.
And for me, the innocent adventurer was the one that had been so hidden. That all that sense of fun and possibility and adventure and sense of wonder and that anything's possible was completely gone. I was completely in shadow and just full of fear, and that took a lot of healing. But it was also when I discovered that the innocent adventurer was one of my archetypes, it was sort of like this light went on and went, it was like coming home almost. Like, well, yes, that is me. And then it just gave me, once I understood all of the things that gave me meaning, which are not all the things that give you meaning, they're completely different for all of us, but based on decoding that sort of my archetypes there. And then I understood that it doesn't matter so much what I do, but it's the meaning I get from it. And that as long as I'm living the meaning and qualities and attributes of those archetypes, then I'm going to be in flow and I'm going to be happy. So that's what I always go back to. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's really interesting because one of my big catch cries in life is, or one of my big things is, self-knowledge is an incredible act of self-love. And so, you know, right now we're in this time of humanity and evolution where our souls are leading the way, and we're trying to remember, like it's not even trying to, our soul is leading the way and showing us what the next step is, or what we're capable of, but we haven't got our mind quite into it yet. So having work and understanding, you know, these archetypes, or understanding your belief patterns and your all the conditionings, all the things that are keeping us restrained, when we start to understand that, then I feel we can actually dissolve it and move forward. So we all need knowledge, but we also need experience to create the new reference point in our life. So one of the things I know that you sort of talk about with people is embracing chaos. So, or living through it. So could you explain a bit about that? Because I feel this year, there's a lot of people in chaos because change is just so rapid. And if they're not prepared and they haven't done the work, and everything we're talking about is doing the inner work, they're not doing the inner work, they don't know where to go. There's no life raft. There's no flotation device. So how do you navigate through chaos?
How do you embrace the chaos, transcend the chaos, conquer the chaos? Yeah, well, what you do, a lot of it is just doing that inner work. I mean, the reality is the chaos is there, and we all know it. We all know that around us, like the energy is so frenetic and frantic, and we can either get caught up in it and just tumble with it and be tossed along, or we can have that buoyancy and that flotation device. And I think for a lot of people, they think that micromanaging and being a control freak is controlling the chaos. But in fact, that tends to just make it worse. And I know personally speaking, because what happens is when you're in that control freak mode, you've really narrowed down, you're in fight or flight, and you're so focused on that small thing that you're controlling that you fail to see the bigger picture, that you fail to see that there might be other alternatives, that there might be another way. And so what happens is the more you try and concentrate, more that fear and that sense of having to control takes over, the less control you're actually in. So I had to learn, and the way I embrace chaos is that I understand that as long as I'm centered and I know who I am, that all that stuff that's going on around me is just going on around me, that it doesn't have to affect me, and that I know that I have enough strength in myself. Like I have enough sense of worth, I have enough sense of who I am, that I can deal with it. Does that mean every day is a happy day? No. No. Does it mean I don't get angry? No. Does it mean that there aren't days when I'm, spent 8 hours on the computer and my website shut down and everything's happened, I haven't got anything, that I don't go screaming into my pillow? No, of course I do all that. Of course. But it just means that then I can just rebalance, and I know that it's just a thing. That I know, I understand now that I cannot micromanage. It just doesn't work. That the more I try and control stuff, the less I see. And the less I see, then the less I can basically, look at what's happening, get an overview, get the big picture, and see where I'm going and navigate. So it's much easier if you step back. It's not always easy to let go, but it's absolutely what has to happen to, stay afloat. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I've got this big thing about letting go is opening us to receptivity. And, so many people live like this with their fists clenched, and not really, but the analogy is their energy bodies are so tight. That's control. That's hanging on. And they do it for so long that when you say let go, or surrender, trying to open your hands when you've been like this. This is the analogy. It's so flipping hard and it's painful. So, you know, once your hands are open, like this is what I want people to try and understand. When you open your hands, you're in receptivity. So, you know, you can let things flow, because control is that. It's limited and it's tight and it's tense. And people doing a lot of control stuff, all they're doing is going over and over and over all the stuff in their own head that they've already done before. There's no space for something new. And this is what I think you're saying with embracing chaos is, you know, be open to new things, other ways of doing things, other ways of seeing things, other ways of feeling perhaps around what's going on in life. And you know what I find is a really great steadying thing for a lot of people is, especially now with all the change, there's something, and a lot of people are saying this, you know, I really get this, somewhere inside us there's this knowing that we're going to be okay, no matter what. And all the chaos and all the crazy that's going on, I'm going to be okay. That is, you know, that's that steadying. That's your flotation device, basically. And it's within. It's like, you got to blow it up. Like you do on the plane, put your life jacket on, you got to blow it up. So it's letting that come out. I really feel that is one of the big awarenesses for people. If they can get to that point where no matter what happens, I'll be okay, and be open, hands open to what else is it? What's another way of dealing with this? How can I bubble along? So yeah, it's a pretty interesting time. So Cathy, you've got some courses and stuff coming up, haven't you? So, you know, do you want to share what they are, where they are, and we can put the links in here after, because, you know, some people resonate with me and some people resonate with someone else and some people will resonate with you. Doesn't matter. I just want to share, this is my journey, share people who I know who are integrity, who are following their heart, who are doing the work, share what they're offering the work in the world, because we all need somewhere to start and we all need somewhere to be supported as we're going through changes. So, you know, offering up a whole number of people who do amazing things on the planet is one of the things I love doing. So far away, shoot out what you're doing, love.
Okay. Okay. I'm doing a lot of different things so that people who don't resonate with one thing may do another. So, for example, next Wednesday night, I'm down at the Krishna Village in northern New South Wales, and I'm doing a 90-minute talk there about coaching with archetypes. And then on the 25th of May, I have a 4-hour workshop at Flex Hot Yoga in Brisbane, where we are going through your archetypes, your destiny, and we're going through and looking at the blueprint that the archetypes provide and why the law of attraction is basically just one step in a number of steps. And basically the rules for manifestation, you know, it's, you can't, there's 7 billion plus people manifesting and co-creating with you on the planet. You can't just say, I want that house, or I want that person, or I want that, because other people are also creating their reality. So it's about understanding that you, have a specific goal in mind, but then don't be so prescriptive about how you get there. You know, trust that, you know, the GPS will be set and that the best path will be navigated for you. Don't try and tell it what to do. So all of that sort of stuff that I talk about. I also run, you know, 3-day training programs that are coming up later in the year. I also work in Melbourne, the Gold Coast, Brisbane, yes, and I do personal one-on-one coaching as well. So I work with people where they're at.
Great. So we'll put your links up, because if people want to have a session with you, they can contact you, because I know just the archetype session I had with you is just another piece of the puzzle for me, you know, another revelation. It's really sort of space, more space now. And that's, I think, the thing that when we start to know ourselves, there is more space in our life, because we don't have to be putting ourselves in all these places trying to see if we can do what we need to do. It's just like, I just need to follow my heart. And that will keep showing me what the next step is, or my soul already knows the blueprint. It will keep showing me as long as I'm connected in and following that and taking action. So I think, you know, it creates
that's the big
space.
thing. As long as we're connected in. That's the big
Yeah.
thing, because so many of us, and I know, for me, it was there's so many shoulds that I wasn't connected at all. I was just
Mm.
busy doing the shoulds,
Mm.
which really are not that important in the whole scheme of
And,
things.
and you brought up a really good thing before too around the that when you have bad days, we all have them. We're human, and as much as we aspire to be these shining beacons of light and wonderful manifestors and creators, which we are,
Absolutely.
we've
Yes,
still
we
got
are.
the humanness, and we still have got to go through all that stuff, and it's just, I think for me, I look at those days, and look, I have them too. I look at those days as they're my reset points. I actually have to stop and, as you probably would too, and go, okay, well, my computer's not responding. All right, so down tools, go to the beach, go and, really reset. And then all of a sudden inspiration is back again, and you're often flying. And I think sometimes those things happen for those reasons, to make us
Yeah,
stop, really
yeah,
stop. And, what else can you be doing right now besides this? Don't get so entrenched that this is all there is. There's so much more going on. And I think, that's another thing around space. I'm really big on space at the moment. I don't know why, but I like it.
But the other thing as well, when I'm having a really bad time, I go, okay, just stop. What is being asked of you? Right now, what is being asked of you? And it may be to step up, or it may be to step away, or it may be to, stop and take a breath. It may be to give myself space. But just that question for me draws a line under that or the poor me's or the whatever, wherever I'm
Yeah,
at in that moment, to get at is just, okay, what's being asked of me? And
yeah,
then I can move on from there, because we're human, and other people's
yeah,
co-creating can cause a mess for me. It's like, that's not what I had planned.
yeah. I know. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it incredible what, life and what we step into every day and what we discover about ourselves. And we have people like you and myself and others out there helping people. You're holding that space for people to see that. I mean, it's such an exciting time to be alive, even though it is frenetic.
Yeah.
It's really, really exciting. So I'm going to ask you, Cathy, before we get off the call,
Yeah.
have you got 3 tips or 3 go-to points or 3 things that you would like to offer people when they're in chaos? Because chaos is something that people are going through a lot at the moment.
Okay, 3 big ones. When you're actually, okay, I'll speak from person. When I am actually so in it and so caught up and so micro focused, the best thing that I do, even in that task, when I'm just really, or whatever it is, like, okay, what's the purpose? And because with that sort of way, by asking what's the purpose, why am I doing this, what's the purpose, it lifts you one step above. And it starts to lift you out of that narrow focus and that narrow control and that narrow, or freaking out or whatever it is. What's the purpose? And then ask it again, what's the purpose? And then when often I get to what's the purpose, you go, okay, then what's another way I can achieve this? So in that way, it sort of takes the heat of the moment or the anxiety or the stress or the whatever. It just sort of pulls you out and to one side of that. So that's one thing that I do. The other is I go for a walk. I always walk. Like my kids joke, like if somebody has a relationship or something big happens, like, hey, come on, let's go for a walk. And sometimes I laugh and go, can't we just have a drink like normal people? We can do that too, but let's just go for a walk first. Let's just walk. And I just find that walking, that motion, one, it takes you physically out of it, whatever it is. But even if you're taking your head with you, it just, you're breathing clean air. It's just the walk, whether it's around the park or on the beach or up and down the street, smelling somebody else's roses, whatever it is. So they're 2 big things I do. And honestly, the other thing I do is if I'm really I just retreat into my little cave. I think it's very primitive. I go and lie down on my bed and just go, okay, I'm just checking out for half an hour. And it might be at 6 o'clock at night. It might be at whatever. I just step away and just try and circuit break, basically.
Yeah.
So they're the things that I do.
Yeah.
To just because it's that thing you somehow have to take a step back, or physically take a step out, or all that resetting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I find one of the big things for me is sleeping. Whenever it's just everything is chaotic for me, I check out. I go into my cave and I go and sleep. And what I find, and from a physiological and energetic perspective, what happens is I get out of my own way. Everything stops in my mind, and my energy body or my higher self or my nervous system, whatever it is, can actually do what it's trying to do. And every time, once I've had a sleep, whether it's half an hour or sometimes it's 3 hours, I wake up and it's like, oh God, you feel so much better because it's whatever it is that you're in resistance to has had a chance to find a way in when you're relaxed. And I think that's a really important thing for people. I often say to people, oh, just go and lie down, go and have a sleep.
And that's a big thing that people are resistant to, because it's that, I can't.
Yeah.
Because. And it's that fight or flight thing that we're running from lions. And honestly, what our body's asking us to do is run and find a cave.
Yeah.
And be safe. Don't keep
And be
running.
safe.
Because if you keep running, eventually your body's just going to shut down. And that's where we see people with chronic illness and inflammation and all of that stuff, where they just keep running.
Yeah.
Just find a cave for a while. Give your body a rest. Allow the cortisol and everything to settle down, and all the adrenaline to settle down, and then, take off again. So that's big one.
That's the thing though with people who are on the go, they don't feel safe stopping. Because there is a saying, I often use this with some of my clients, is you can't hit a moving target.
Yeah.
So when people are constantly going and running and moving, nothing can land. Yeah. So they don't ever have to really deal with anything because they're so busy. All their feelings, all their emotions, all their wisdom, all their intuition is so pushed aside because they're so busy. You can't hit a moving target. So that for them, the people who are crazy, chaotic like that, that's their safety. Yeah. And so saying to them, go and lie down, that makes them vulnerable.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, as you and I are talking about with the archetype things, you need to be vulnerable in order to receive the life that you want to live. That's the big thing, that, okay, it's great to be a moving target, but eventually your body will go, okay, we've been running from lines. Okay, I'll give you more energy. I'll give you more energy. I'll give you more energy. I've got nothing. I got nothing. Yeah. And that's where you see people suddenly with these major health problems, and they go, well, where did this come from?
Yeah. Chronic fatigue.
There's no way around it. Your body will eventually shut down. You just can't avoid it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So self-care.
You and I have beautiful processes though to get people through that. To start that journey of letting go. And that's thing. Some people, they can't just do it. It has to be that gradual process. And that's where people like you, people like me, people like there's a lot of us out there that just have got these beautiful skills and tools. And for both of us, I think, because what I love about you is your work is so intuitive. That, and the more you do, the more intuitive it becomes, of course, because intuition is a learned thing as well. And same for me. Like I feel that with the people that I'm working with, there's just more and more of a sense of, you just understand where you need to go, what you need to do for the person that you're with. Yeah. Which is
so. I'll put all the links up for people to contact you because we've got to get off the call. But
yes, we do.
What I think we both come up with through this little discussion is everybody needs to freaking relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
Just chill. Yeah.
Relax. And, everything's going to be okay. You're going to be fine because at the end of the day, whatever it is you've got to experience in life, you've already set in motion before you even came here. So relax into it. Relax.
And the reality is the chaos is always going to be there. So, yeah, embrace it, go with it. Don't try and control it.
You know, I was listening to a person speak the other day, and I really loved it. What she said was, chaos is when we go into creation.
Yeah.
We have to be in chaos in order to go into creation, because nothing's going to change until we're in that space for a lot of people. So, you know, I really got that, and I thought, okay, chaos, let's keep creating. This is great.
Bring it on. Yeah.
Bring it on, but in a relaxed way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Cathy. And we'll put your links up. And yeah, we'll talk. We'll have other things going on in the future anyway. So all the best. Thank you for your time. Big love. And for anyone who is watching this, whether it's now or later on, if you really want to know the parts of you that are really strong, the archetypal parts, what works, and you know, how to support it and how it flows together to give you that life where you understand why things are happening and how to make them happen, or how to create them in the way that's with more ease. Cathy's really great with the archetype stuff, and it's really interesting. Like, as she said, I found out my archetype is a knight and an oracle. What do I do in life? I'm intuitive, and I'm a bit of a warrior. So it sort of all made sense. But all the other stuff around it too. So thank you, Cathy, and big love, and I will chat with you soon.
Yeah, my pleasure. Bye.
Bye. Namaste, everyone.
Oh, namaste.